Hey, San Antonio, this is Rob for the MetalWorks, and yes, we're hanging out tonight here at the MetalWorks, and man, it's been a long, long time coming that we're bringing this to you. Brings me great pleasure to welcome our original prodigal son, yes, and one of the best drummers in the world, and thank God he plays metal. I have with me the man from right here in San Antonio, Mr. Bobby Jarzombek here on the program. How are you doing, Bobby?
Yeah.
Like that intro, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty nice, Rob. Thanks. I'm doing well. It's great to be back in San Antonio for a small visit before I head back to LA. So I'm having a good time visiting family, some friends, hanging out.
And one of the first things I want to ask you is, you know, it was no secret that Halford, you were the longtime drummer for Rob Halford when he did his solo thing, and then, you know, we all know he went back to Priest. What did you do after Rob Halford said, you know, I'm going to put the Halford band down and I'm going back to Priest? What did you do after that?
That's interesting. At that point, you know, when we knew it was kind of winding down with Rob, we were, everybody was kind of like, what next, you know? Right just prior to that, I moved to LA. Me and my wife moved to LA and said, you know, give it a shot, see what's out there. And I looked for stuff for a while, and it was a struggle, you know. My first year living in LA, it's pretty rough. So it just happens that at about that time, just doing some local stuff, feeling my way around, I ended up getting the gig with Iced Earth.
You were sharing about, you know, you guys are doing some big shows. I mean, you're opening up for Guns N' Roses. I mean, you're playing arenas and all over the world. And what kind of experience has that been like? And also share about your feelings on what you guys are doing on stage with Sebastian.
Well, Sebastian's a trip, you know, as you can imagine if you've seen him on TV on anything. But it's great, you know. He's all about the energy and performing live, and so it's great to be part of something like that, you know. But we've been all over the place. We did some touring with Guns N' Roses overseas, the festivals last summer, and then we did some stuff in the UK. Then we've been all over the place: Bulgaria, Turkey, China, Australia. South America, and I think it's going to be great for Sebastian because, you know, we're doing a lot of Skid Row stuff in the set, and we're doing some of the stuff that we've written, that we've recorded already on the CD, about 4 or 5 songs. So it's going to be nice to have that stuff available, and people can buy it, they can hear it at the live shows, or they can buy it and then go to the live shows and check the stuff out.
I was a huge fan of the Pain Museum CD. And this is what we're referencing here, folks. Metal for Life. Yes, this is a very heavy CD, and I love it, man. I like it a lot, and I was glad to be one of the first people to receive the promo copy of it and all the PR stuff for it. You and Metal Mike plan to do any more Pain Museum stuff? Is that even being discussed, or is that just a one-off, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. You know, there probably been a couple of small opportunities to do some writing, and we probably hung out in the bus and didn't do as much writing as we hoped to do. We did the Pain Museum CD kind of an off time between Halford stuff. You know, it was recorded while we were both still in the Halford band, or I said, well, we still kind of are, but while the Halford band was touring and recording, so it worked out great, and so hopefully, yeah, we'll be able to do some more of that stuff. And I dig the CD myself. I remember when Mike presented this stuff to me, and it was like, hey, you know, I want to do a solo CD, put a band together for it, and you interested? And I listened to some of the tunes, and I said, this is heavy stuff.
Right up your alley.
Yeah. But you know, that's probably the heaviest drumming that I've done.
Sure, give us some insight on what's going on with Halford. I know from what I've read that he's stated that, you know, even though I'm with Priest, I'm still gonna do Halford. So what? I mean, has he shared with you at all about maybe a timeline for when he might want to get the band back together, or can you also share about maybe some of the re-releases that he's gonna do?
Yeah, well, you know, we had the 3 Halford CDs that we did, which was a Resurrection, Live Insurrection, and the Crucible CD. And though that was all done in 2003, and then everybody kind of went our separate ways or whatever, and there was always talk about getting back together and recording some stuff at some point, but Rob's priority was with Priest, obviously, reforming and rebonding with the guys. So Angel Retribution came out, and then we talked about getting back together and writing some stuff, and we went into writing sessions as Halford, and we did a lot of rehearsals, came up with a bunch of tunes, and recorded.
Talk a little bit about this video. When I saw it, I was just like really blown away by it, because you're so technical and fast with some of the things that you do, and kind of unorthodox, like with the back slam cymbal splash or whatever. Talk a little bit about the DVD, and because there's a lot of musicians out there who watch our program.
Oh, very good. Well, it's another thing with in between Halford times. You know, I had a little bit of time off with Halford, and I had a friend of mine that was working, had a film crew, had a bunch of camera equipment, and I said, and he's a metal fan from back in the old days, and I said, man, I said, you know what I really want to do is I want, you and you guys get together and we'll shoot a DVD, a live drum video. I wasn't even sure how it was going to turn out, and after seeing the footage and hearing it, I was pleasantly surprised, and I said, man, this stuff is good enough to put out. I ended up 500 of them on VHS and sent them out just as promo, just to kind of get a feel and see what was going to happen.
But, talk a little bit about your early beginnings. How did you feel? I mean, when you look back now and everything that you've accomplished, how crucial were those days for you in getting you to where you are now?
Well, I mean, that's it's the most important part of my introduction or initiation into metal drumming. The whole, at that time when Juggernaut was playing, Watchtower, S.A. Slayer, Wizard, there was a Militia out of Austin. There was a lot of bands that were playing. Cyrus, I'm missing a bunch of them, and it was a cool time. There was the shows at the Cameo Theater. There was and it was the most exciting time for metal. I mean, for me, it was the perfect time to be a metal musician. I think Joe Anthony did a lot for that. I think that there was a lot of camaraderie with metal. I mean, you're doing that today, and that's great. I think it's great for all of us that we have guys like yourself and Joe back in the day that put metal on the forefront for San Antonio.
Talk shop with your brother a lot? Are you thinking about has he asked you to maybe contribute on anything else that he may be working on, or have you guys thought about maybe collaborating on any other fronts?
Well, I mean, Ron's got things going on at all times. He's always working on a project. He pretty much puts himself in these situations where he works on something that he knows that he's going to have to work on it hard and diligent for a long time. I mean, this is a masterpiece of technical, music. I mean, it's not something you can listen to and like, yeah, these guys wrote this in a couple of, I mean, San Antonio's still home for me, and it will be for me and my wife. We talk about it all the time about coming back, getting a place. We want some land, we want to do this, we want to do that. And I mean, it's funny, because every time I come back home, there's a little realization of like what I love about San Antonio, and whatever it might be. It might be just something in the back of my head, or it might be something that just kind of hits me that's as blatant as anything. But I'm glad to be here on Rob's MetalWorks, because Rob is a true metal, and so it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you for coming over. I am too, man. Thank you so much for coming over and spending some time. Remember, San Antonio, you saw the man, Bobby Jarzombek, right here on Rob's MetalWorks.